On all war fronts and wherever servicemen and women were gathered, a very important role was played by entertainers who throughout all the wars have come to every outpost trying to make life a little easier. Meet just two of the many who served in this way, Johnny Lockwood and Connie Hobbs. Welcome to you both. Johnny, I've got to say to you, as a very old friend, I mean, it's a good thing that during the war you had a better sense of direction than you had this morning. Tell the story.
Well, I got to the airport and the driver said, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "Channel 9, please." So I went to Channel 9. I said, "Where's the Bert Newton studio?" So the said, "The Bert Newton studio, you're about 3 miles away."
Well, a mate of mine at 9 rang me and said there's a mate of yours wanting to see you, and if he wants to be on your show, I've told him to get over there pretty quickly. Johnny, apart from entertaining with the forces during the war, you originally were part of the forces, weren't you?
Well, I went into the RAF in 1941, and I was discharged on medical grounds in 43. I wasn't discharged, I was released because I was no good at, in the services, because I lost my hearing of the right ear, and it wasn't anything brave, but my straight man doing a show one night said, "Get out of it," and put me in the ear like that. And it busted my eardrum. Well, I was in and out of hospital for about 8 months and 9 months. Just couldn't stop the discharge, And they said, "Would you like to go out and go back to your old job, but you've got to work for ENSA?" I said, "Oh, fine, that was great."
And what's that again?
ENSA, Entertainment's National Service Association. That was they did the whole of the entertainment for all the British, the whole of the Army, Navy and Air Force.
So, Johnny, who did you work with and where did you work?
Well, before I went in the services, I did a show in London for the services only called the Colonel Horlick's matinee for the forces at the Scala Theatre. Now, we used to do that every day, and it was for all the ARP men or any men on leave, and it was a big, big show. It was put on by Jack Hilton, but paid for by the Horlicks people. And then I went in the services, and I had this 18 months or so, and then I came out, and I went around England for about 3 months, and then they said, "Will you volunteer for overseas?" And I said, "Yes," because they said, "Giraldo wants you." Now, have you heard of Giraldo and his band were like Glenn Miller?
Sure.
It's an enormous orchestra. And I went to the Middle East with Giraldo. We went to Egypt, Palestine, Iraq, Sicily, the Azores. We went to all those places. And when we were in Cairo, Air Vice Marshal Cunningham asked Jerry Giraldo if he could put a smaller show on because they hadn't the transport. So he took just 8 or 9 of us, and we had a small unit, and we used to go everywhere. And it finished up, the worst part of that trip was that we went to Tunis, and we did 6 shows in Tunis in a day, 6 shows. We finished at 1:30 in the morning, and they wanted us on the plane at 7 o'clock. Now, we all objected. We said we just can't do it because, it was really ridiculous. So they gave us a plane at 10 o'clock, and we were going over Palermo, and we crashed in an error. But when I say crashed, I'm talking about an actual crash. Not a bit of the plane hardly left, and they all... Well, it was funny. The bloke came out and started to throw boxes out of the door, and he's kicked the door off like that, and we're about 200 feet up, and Gerald, I said, "What are they doing?" I said, "I don't know, delivering mail to submarines, I think." And the next thing is the navigator came in and said, "Get this goddamn stuff out of here." It was an American plane, and we started to shift these boxes, and they weighed 100 weight. We were thrown about like feathers. And eventually he said, "Hold on, we're going in." And I just grabbed hold of a seat. There weren't seats in the plane, there were bucket seats, And like this, and it went crash, bang, wallop, big bang, crash, bang, boom. And when I woke up, I'm the only one in the airplane. And there's no bottom, it's all out. All our luggage is on the floor. And they're all shouting, "Johnny, come out!" I would wake up, I wouldn't let go. And they were about 20, 30 yards of me. But what saved our lives was the fact that where we hit a carrot field. And it was that deep with mud, so as the plane hit, it only had one bounce.
Cushioned it.
And that stopped it.
Connie, you spent most of your time entertaining, I believe, in North Africa. Is that true?
No, we went most of the places Johnny did, including India. See, I went over to further my career and got caught in the war. So with my husband that I married later, we went as a double act, and we signed up for the entire war. So the first place we went to was France. And when we had done a month there, they asked us, this little unit, to go and do another month. And we couldn't because we were booked for a show in England. And when we got back, it was only a week after that Dunkirk happened. So if we had done that other month, we would have been in the middle of all that, probably prisoners. So that was the first thing. Then we went to West Africa in a big convoy of 21 ships, and from there to Egypt, Africa, all over the places that you read today, and India, ended up in India. And on one of the trips there, the 8th Army were going out to do something very interesting. I don't know what it was. It was a big push. So they got Josephine Baker, I suppose you've heard of Josephine Baker, in to join the unit. And she was a very beautiful woman, as you know, and she didn't wear much on the top. It was like a little neck trimming. So all the troops that would be sitting on the floor, they got closer and closer. They kept creeping up to get a good look at Josephine Baker. But she was a wonderful woman and a wonderful artist.
And if you had your time over again, I mean, you'd do it again, Connie?
Yes, I'd hate to be there to be another war.
Of course.
But it was a most wonderful experience of all the places we went to. We got out of so many things because we went right to the front. You know, we went to the forward areas.
Well, today, Johnny and you represent the many hundreds of performers, thousands of performers who gave their time, and in some cases, actually, their lives to entertaining the troops. Thank you, Johnny, and thank you, Connie.
Thank you.
Connie Hobbs and Johnny Lockwood.